Hello there, Aries, and welcome to your monthly forecast. Just a quick reminder before I get started. If you happen to know your sun, rising, and moon signs, you can absolutely use all of the monthly readings for those signs. And if you don't, then just stick with the sun sign because that'll give you the closest or the most accurate reading for you. Now, with that out of the way, why don't we take a look at the channeled information that came through this month. Now, for the past couple of months, I've been going a little bit deeper into the channeled messages. I do this by meditating just before I begin reading for your sign, and I take a piece of paper and a pen and actually do manual writing. And it's called automatic writing, which is basically kind of closing your eyes or not focusing too much on the paper and just writing what comes to mind. Now, as I did that, this was the message that came through for you. Through respecting yourself, you will help foster and attract respect and success in your life. In particular, I was guided to tell you to set boundaries with respect to your time, energy, and money. And when you respect and enforce those boundaries, others will do the same. And basically what this is doing is creating a stronger sense of self. Not of ego, but basically of self-respect, confidence, and when you are strong and your energy starts to kind of grow with you, then you attract situations that are of that higher frequency. So that was basically the message coming through from Spirit. It's respect, but respecting yourself, respecting boundaries, and enforcing that so that others end up in turn seeing you as someone who is of a higher, not just higher status, but higher frequency, because that's really the trick. Once people recognize that you are kind of vibrating at a higher level, then things start to fall in place, and it's a lot easier. All right, with that being said, let me quickly tell you how I organize this, and then I'll start the reading. I like to do a Celtic cross at the beginning and really kind of see what's coming through for the month, and then I expand it to look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. I have a couple other things that I do in the middle, but let's get to the cards and see what they have to say. If anyone's brand new to the channel, I want to welcome you, and of course for anyone that's coming back, thank you so much for the support. It really does mean a lot, and as I like to close everything talking about how we can grow and be stronger together, and I'll definitely do that at the close of today as well. All right, so at this point I like to remain quiet and see what the cards have to say. And there's one additional card that I'm going to pull before I go through the interpretations of what I'm seeing and the messages that just came through. This is a catalyst. Now, when I pull the catalyst card, it actually connects everything together in front of us. Actually, I'm going to switch to a different deck because I've been guided to do that. So again, the catalyst is going to really help you understand how to maximize what you need to be focusing on this month. And also, again, if there's any sort of disconnections, this card can help you see the common thread between everything. So we have this Heaven and Earth card here, and I love this. This is showing you that it really is the theme of balance this month. So imagination and also your practical goals, what you need to focus on to get by, resources. That's what I was talking about earlier. But without having some sort of higher purpose, higher goal, things kind of get out of whack. So what I want you to focus on is balancing the resources and balancing this practical and spiritual side of you this month. The cards are going to help with that. Your central card this month was just that, a balance card. We have the Two of Pentacles here, and for me, when the card's reversed, it's showing that the times when you sort of feel like you're tiptoeing or walking on eggshells, trying to make sure that not only that everything can work, but also sometimes it's trying to make people happy around you. Feel like, how can I do all of this and still be doing what I'm supposed to be doing? This card is reminding you that sometimes you can't. What you have to do is focus on what's most important to the goals at hand, and also what feels good internally. We can't always please everyone around us, and that's so hard. It doesn't matter what sign you are. It's sort of a human instinct to want to be loved, to want to have joy, to want people to be happy around you. This month, however, I'm seeing a few cards that are showing the potential for exhaustion, some some resource balancing challenges, and then the importance of love and relationships. These are the things that have to take priority. And sometimes when you look at like good leadership, they're not always popular, the decisions that a leader might make, but they might be the best for the team or for the group. And it doesn't matter. This can also be for a family if you're the head of your family, or if you're just trying to take control of your life. So specifically what I'm seeing here is money, time, general resources overall. This is what I see you making positive strides towards, but what you really want to keep a strong handle on, because this card is one that usually shows growth, but it has to be something that you contain and sustain. So I like it when I see the Seven of Pentacles, but it's always a card where I want you to do it a little bit more. So I'm congratulating you on positive work and maybe understanding where there's areas that you need to improve. And this card is just saying, keep doing just that, and you should be able to overcome the balance issue that I saw at the center. As I look at what's affecting you from the month previous, this shows work that you've done on yourself, history, all of that. It's pretty good, actually. We have the Magician card, and this is one of two really good manifestation cards in tarot. And when I see this card, one, it kind of shows that you can do anything that you put your mind to this month, but the trick is to focus on one or two things. I love the Magician, but sometimes it can be a card that you would associate with being distracted, like ADHD, or having a better example is if you're cooking and you have 3 or 4 things that you're looking at once. Sometimes, you know, the water can boil and you're not paying attention, or, you know, something else can get overcooked in the oven or whatever. I want you to focus on one thing at a time and don't overcommit, basically. So I feel like you already have what you need in place. Don't add more to the equation this month, and you should be in a good place. Now, when I was looking at the Five of Cups card here, which is affecting you right towards the beginning of the month, don't let one disappointment set you back. You see this broken vase here, or it almost looked like an eggshell for me. Going on that image of an eggshell, where something, it can kind of symbolize a project, a dream, a hope, an aspiration that may have been cracked or shattered because either the timing was off, someone didn't receive it the way you hoped that they would receive it, or you just realize you need to do a little more work. That's okay. If you take a look at this, it's still going to produce what you want. So I want you to be patient and see that it's not really a setback. It might just be a slight reset or adjustment. And you should try to preserve what you've done and realize that there's a lot of great things that are still possible this month. So this card is encouraging you to look at the positive side of things, or the optimistic side of things. As we look at your crowning card with Lovers in reverse, this is where some of the challenge could be in respect to your relationships. So with those limits and with issues of respect, are you feeling that people around you, whether it's at work, in your friend circle, or with loved ones, are they respecting what's important to you? And are you also doing that to others? Balance it out. If there's some sort of a disparity or some sort of an issue, this card is even in its reverse state, it's showing that you can achieve this equilibrium. You just have to get straight to the point and basically embrace whatever it is that's coming up this month as a chance to grow and improve your relationship. So if you do that, you'll be okay. If you don't, there is a possibility that resentment or frustration could set in. So don't let that happen. In fact, as we look at your near future, the advice from the cards, how to best attach to the outcome, which is really great, by the way, we have the Star card here, is Temperance. Now, what I love about Temperance is that it reminds you that it's important to have a goal set, something here at the end of the path. It's also important to realize you have what it takes to make things happen. You don't have to prove it. Temperance is a card of walking that middle line of not necessarily compromising, but being basically as diplomatic, as open-minded, and as neutral as possible. So if you can do those things, then you can accomplish a lot more than this month being too outspoken. Now, if I saw the Queen of Swords or something like that, it would be a much different piece of advice, but Temperance is saying quiet and listening and not overstating your own particular view on something is going to get you much further, because people will see you as approachable, as thoughtful, as someone who really understands and is empathetic with their point of view. Those things are going to be really key in success this month. Now, for some of you, particularly this is tying up to relationships for me as I look at ego. When I see the Seven of Swords, it's important to be honest. This card sometimes can symbolize people that have been through situations where they don't trust as easily because people might have said things or done things behind their back. This card is reversed, saying, enough now, this is starting to end. And you're going to lead by example this month. So if somebody does kind of go back in, old habits or old ways and is testing you, you'll simply remind them that this isn't acceptable. And you don't have to have a big argument or a big deal. This card says sometimes it's better to just walk away from a situation than to prove that you're right or to try to interrogate too much. You're showing this person simply by not giving them the attention that it doesn't work. And there's power in that non-verbal, non-violent, non-confrontational approach. Again, invoking temperance. Now, what's really important for self-preservation this month, and I think this is why my guides and angels were really harping on the fact that you need to observe boundaries, is we have the Ten of Swords here. And the Ten of Swords is all about, especially in its reverse state, an avoidable issue with health or with emotions or with a situation that could kind of blow up that doesn't need to. If you are kind and easy to yourself, if you are fair and neutral towards others, you can negate this card. If you follow your heart, because this particular deck has the Ten of Swords through the heart center, then you will not be led astray. If you don't, then there may be some regret, there may be some issues. And you don't want to let your passion carry you away here and allow for, I see the Ten of Swords as sometimes a spilling of negative words or thoughts. So, observe what your heart needs to do and needs to say, but don't necessarily say things that hurt others, because you get that right back. It's not something that takes a long time. Whenever you sort of issue out negativity, it doesn't necessarily heal you. So I want you to stay neutral, stay calm, stick to the facts, ask for help if you need it. To that end, some of you may be at a point where it's important for you to seek out someone to help mediate, to represent you. So this can indicate wanting to move forward with a court case or some sort of conflict resolution. You're going to be better off if you have somebody else represent you this month. So there's nothing bad about proceeding if you have a legal case, but just get a great lawyer and feel really good about that lawyer when you do that. The other thing with Judgment is the fact that it's upright. It tells me many of you are ready to make a shift in your life for the better. You might have decided, I'm tired of a negative situation, a relationship, a way of living. I want to take care of myself better. This card is about deciding to make better strides, better movement in your life. It can be an exciting card. And so this can be deciding to go to a new job, to move across country or to another country. But you will feel guided in this decision. Notice how you have what I think is Archangel Gabriel above. Listen to your thoughts, if you're clairaudient, to the words that are coming to you, and don't second guess yourself. That's going to be very, very important. And if there's a decision that you've been sort of sitting on for a long time, that card encourages you to move forward without fear. Now, I really love the outcome card this month for you. The Star card, I'm going to turn it upright just so you can see the illustration. The Star card is reminding you that what's really important is to show, to shine, to show your true colors. If you hold back, you're not really letting people get to know you. We all withhold for certain reasons because, listen, this card was rooted in the Judgment card here. So what can happen sometimes is we fear other people's judgment, we're too harsh on ourselves, or we kind of create this scenario where we think that something won't be accepted or received in the way that we'd like it to. Whenever the Star card is upright, which usually shows someone who has overcome ego and has overcome attachment to outcome, it is this sense of peace and tranquility because suddenly you understand what's important. So this could be that moment when you realize what it is that you want in a relationship as a life goal, what you want to do on the planet, and suddenly you don't care maybe what your parents think. Even if your partner thinks you're crazy, you know that you have to move forward in this, or your friends may not understand it, but you just go for it. because there's nothing to lose. When you truly want something, it's worth the risk of rejection. Not only that, but the rejection or the friction from people around you, it also is a gift from the divine, because it shows us who exactly is our advocate, or who loves us, who supports us, and who may either be jealous, in a different frequency, and not either able or capable to grapple with whatever it is that you're trying to become. And in that case, you can either decide, is there an education opportunity here, or do I simply need to move forward? Have I learned everything that I need to from this relationship or this situation, and is it now a gift that they no longer feel like they want to be with me because I'm following my path? So to summarize this, don't be afraid to shine. Show your true colors. Go after whatever you feel is brings you your joy in everyday life, what is your purpose on the planet, or what you feel your intuition is moving you towards. You don't have to understand everything, as long as it feels good on a heart level, on a soul level, and if you feel like it is something that you're being divinely guided to do, do it. This card usually shows that you're right at the doorstep of a nice breakthrough, but it's important for you to believe in yourself and believe that I can, I will, I am going to do this. So that Judgment card is also that internal decision that nothing can stop you. And that's what makes athletes, actors, politicians successful, is that they have this internal sense that I must do this. There's nothing else that I can do. It's a passion for a cause. It's a passion for yourself. And other people will then pick up on it and see the truth within it. Okay? Let's go ahead and expand your forecast, and we'll take a look at your health card, which can include mind, body, and spirit. Really, I see the three as deeply connected, but let's see what the main focus is this month. Your message for health is to really focus on not being judgmental. Self-reflection is fine, but sometimes we can get to the point where we are too focused on ego or too focused on potential flaws, and that really does nicely mirror what we have here with the Judgment card. So what I want you to do this month is to know at a certain point that as long as you are putting forth all the effort you can, it's enough, and that it takes time to accomplish whatever it is that you have in sight. If we take a look at these two cards in particular, so really your message is more about mental strength and forgiveness, and like emotional forgiveness, than it is about something in your body. But it can help, it can eventually manifest in your body because of these two cards. So I see for some of you a sense of maybe not understanding that a potential setback is not the end of the road, and that if you understand that it's simply a reset or a chance to possibly go out with something even better than you anticipated the first time around, then you're actually in a very good place. Now, I didn't mention this the first time I looked at this, because as I expand the forecast, additional pieces come to me. Some of you may be in a challenging relationship this month, and there's three cards that are pivotal. We have the Lovers in reverse in the crowning position, we have the Ten of Swords here in the environment, and we have a decision card, the Judgment card here, in hopes and fears. So what's important here is to do what you feel is right. If you feel like you want to give someone a second chance, do that, and do it with a sense, again, of neutrality and forgiveness. If you need to walk away, also using that calmness and that serenity, you have to do the same thing. Not, again, feeling like you need to explain yourself or prove anything, simply saying, this is what I feel is right, it's time to do this. So after reflection, don't beat yourself up, move forward, and know that your heart will be freed by that decision, by being who you are, and that's going to ultimately allow you to be able to put more energy into yourself and going towards that path that you want. So don't be afraid to move forward. Don't overthink things this month. There definitely is a warning sign with that. So there is a note of ego with that. Don't be too attached to what people think and how you might appear. Instead, focus on doing what's best. Let's look at your wealth card. Wealth includes not just money, but also success. It can also be resources, since we saw that, which is time and energy. So let's just see what wealth has to say this month with the help of the cards here. We have journey. So it's a change, it's a shift. There's transition with many of you. The important thing is that you feel like you are comfortable with the outcome, and I think it's important to explore a lot of options. When I'm looking at this journey card, you see all of the signposts here. So don't rush into a decision, but once you've done your research, there should be one choice that feels like it's best. If you need to seek out help with that, do that, but at the end of the day, you're going to have to do what's best for you, and as long as it truly is best for you, there's nothing to worry about. So move forward and know that change is on the horizon. So if you're trying to grow your income, it looks better. If you're trying to get over debt, it also looks like that's something you can accomplish. And if you simply want to try new things, a new way of making money, then also trust that abundance is going to find you and that this opportunity is worth the risk. Let's take a look now at, we looked at health and wealth, let's take a look at love, which for me is just a broad umbrella for all of relationships. This could be love between you and others, love for yourself, and also simply looking at your ability to exist within a relationship, things that you might need to focus on. So your love card this month is, take it right off the top, grace and gratitude. And gratitude is so powerful. I recount this often, so if I've said it already, apologies. But one of the first big experiences that I had with hearing an archangel, it was Archangel Uriel. It came to me, and during a meditation, I was asking for healing or something, and it was more than happy to help, but it said, don't forget to say thanks. And it wasn't just thanks to that angel or to the higher powers. It's just thanks in general, gratitude, and show that to others. So what I try to do sometimes, I always like to have a garden outside or some planted pots, or you'll see I always have something alive around me, but that to me is gratitude and an offering to the planet. And whenever I leave certain places that I live, I always leave whatever I have in the ground and just hope that it makes the next person happy. But when I plant my own garden, it's love to the planet. So I make beauty with whatever is there. It brings other people joy. I get nothing back in return except for the fact that I get to experience that beauty. And every day I see it, I'm grateful that we live in a place where something like that can happen. So a selfless act of grace and gratitude this month can bring things to you that you wouldn't expect. Mostly just a sense of feeling happier. And this grace card is also really important. So with regard to your relationships, this is about taking that higher ground and about trying to not, again, get pulled into other people's webs. In a couple of decks, sometimes it's 8, 9, or 10, but you'll sometimes see like a cobweb theme in it because it's about emotional entanglement. And so what I think you can do this month is detangle, and if that's such a word, I hope it is, or sort of disconnect between people and do it in a way that you're doing it with dignity, grace, gratitude. Okay? And remember, gratitude can be very small things that you can be grateful for. Every morning you could think of 3 things that you're happy about. That you had a good night's sleep, that you breathed, that you have breakfast, that there's no traffic. It doesn't matter. Start with the little things and then you can go big. Let's take a look now at your destiny card, which is the equivalent of a GPS showing where you're headed. And if you like that, you can stay on that path. If you feel like you need to adjust, this card allows you to do that. And much like what we were seeing here in your wealth card, there's choices. So you get to change path. You have options. So free will is the most powerful thing that we have on this planet. There's a lot of different worlds that we can all incarnate in, but Earth is unique in that free will is everywhere here. Every day, every thought, every moment. And that's why a lot of souls want to come to this planet. And that's the sort of beautiful thing with what I'm going to look at right now. You're in control. I think some things are sort of set up for you as opportunities, but you really have a chance whether you want to embrace your destiny or try to change it and work towards other things. So let's see what's coming through. So we have Master of Cups here. And so for this one, I want you to focus on emotions. And this is one of the most beautiful suit of cups cards here that I've seen. And I don't want you to get mired down in the magnitude of how either impassioned you're feeling, or overwhelmed, or excited, or afraid. I want you to try to be the master of your emotions this month. And if and when you feel overwhelmed, try to find a creative outlet for that. The star card for me is the natural sort of artist card as well. Do something artistic this month. Dance, sing, write, paint, build, all of these things, compose. All of these things are art and are connections to a way to channel. And so I talked about free writing or automatic writing at the beginning. You can do all of those to become more in tune with your own intuition and psychic self. And you can also do them to calm your emotions. So if you do that, you can avoid this. I keep highlighting the Ten of Swords card because I do feel it's something that doesn't have to happen this month. It's more of a, it's an edge case if and when you kind of like get overwhelmed and let things go too far. So let's review everything that we talked about. I want to make sure that I get each piece here, so I want to look at what I wrote here. So with respect, I really want to make sure that it's not just about respecting yourself, but it's also about setting up boundaries and making sure that other people are observing them, boundaries in regards to your time, energy, and money. As you start to respect yourself and respect those things that you've set up, other people will follow suit, but it has to start within. Your catalyst card this month was to balance that sense of physical and metaphysical, or of body and soul, and even beyond that. So I want you to try not to get mired down in one area too much. Don't focus so much on your metaphysical development that you let everyday things go by the wayside, and vice versa. Don't get so caught up in making money that you're not feeding yourself and feeding your soul. As we look at the cards, balance is the theme here. One of the key themes anyway with the Two of Pentacles, particularly with regards to your money and your time and your energy. So that follows nicely in line with that channeled information. And I see that you have what you need to manifest, but what's important is to stay focused and not add more to your plate this month. Don't let one setback pull you off your path. You're doing great. There's a lot of other things that need your attention once you've gotten through the main point that you're kind of focusing on. So one at a time, just sort of check things off your list. Relationships could be challenging, but you have a choice this month. You can either embrace and try to fix whatever's wrong, or there's a chance to walk away. The key thing here is to try to stay as graceful as possible, and we'll get to that in a second, and also as neutral as possible. Follow your heart this month. In doing so, you won't have regrets. You want to kind of look at every day as a chance to if this was your last day on the planet, would it feel like you did what you needed to do? And if not, you want to start living that way, because we have no guarantee with time. You want to make sure that you're making the most of it. There's a decision that's weighing on you. Follow your heart and know that what's most important here is that you're getting closer to your purpose. Don't overthink things. Don't worry about whether people are going to accept you or love you. If they do, they do, and if they don't, they don't. You'll have a chance then to truly see them for who they are. As we look at your health card this month, we have the Lady of the Mirror, which is really reminding you to not get caught up in your ego too much. Self-reflection is fine, but there is a point at which we can either get too critical or too lost in our own self and lose connection to the world. And so I don't want you to do that this month. So with your health, try to get out more, take walks, listen to other people, kind of broaden your horizons a bit, and your attention needs to, at a certain point, come off yourself as well. As we look at wealth this month, change and shifting, but only after you've had a chance to explore options. Get those options on the table, have at least 2 or 3 choices, then you can move forward. With relationships, take the high road. Be grateful for what you have, use grace in all that you do, and remember that if you kind of live, again, not just like every day is your last, but like every word would be your last to someone, how would you feel about the last thing that you said to people being the only thing that you said to them? And that will change the way you communicate, because they're powerful and they're lasting, these words, and you want to make sure that you're living your life with that sense of grace, so that everything that you say is either vibrating on a frequency that you're happy with or is helping people, not hurting them, yourself included. And ultimately, don't get overwhelmed with emotions this month. And if you are, which is a completely normal human thing to do or to be or to have happening, simply find a channel for them. Find a creative channel. Get it out on paper. Get it out in some object. Play a sport. Do something to channel the energy into a new avenue so that ultimately you'll be able to, again, walk with temperance. And it was a big message this month, the card I've been focusing on a lot, and I think that's going to be key to your happiness. Okay? I hope that this gave you the guidance that you needed to tackle any sort of challenges that come your way this month. I know that sometimes bigger decisions happen though, and if you need more than a general reading to answer those questions, I'm here for you. You can check out there's 3 links below the video. The first is a way to get in touch with me and schedule a reading if you'd like. So I'm here for you if you need that. You can check rates and availability to see if that's something you want to do. Secondly, you'll see a link to support the channel. I really do this each month just because I want to give back, but there are costs associated with production. So through the donations and support of people like you, I can buy new decks, I can make these videos happen each month, pay for all of the production. So if you'd like to give as little as $1, you can do so, and the second link allows you to do just that. That's out of love, and only if you have the abundance. There's no pressure there. The third link is to stay in touch with me. So I would love for you to be connected with me, not just here on YouTube, which you can do with the subscribe and that little bell icon, but also follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and other social networks if you'd like. And that third link will help you find me on all of those networks. And now for my favorite part. At the end of every reading, I like to bring the focus to a larger stage here, which is why are we doing this every month? I've talked in previous weeks and months about the fact that we're creating this beautiful chain of light, that I want each of us to sort of be lighthouses in this world, creating a beacon for people that might be in need. And that's a continuation that I want to talk about this month, which is I really hope that you can share your gifts with others. It can be as little as smiling to someone who's having a hard day. It could be giving your service to other people. It could be developing your gifts and then having the courage to step out and to do something with them. Something that I had to do a few years ago and still do every day. There's people in my life who are still discovering what I do, and I found much more love and support on that path than I ever imagined. So whatever it is that you need or want to do on this planet to make it a better place, know that that is absolutely something that you should be embracing. It's something that once you show your truth, it makes this world a better place. So again, whether it's a smile, whether it's support, whether it's just continuing to develop yourself so that you have this higher frequency, it's all making this world better. So keep working on yourself, and thank you so much for allowing me to be part of this journey. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Wishing you all the best this month and always. Thank you.